Your screen goes black. A photograph begins loading from the top down. Tangled black hair, 2 tiny white pupils floating inside bruised, ink-dark eyes. A face bleached almost flat, with a smile stretched much farther than any smile ever should. You recognize it immediately. Jeff the Killer. The cursor won't move. Under the picture, a sentence types itself. You know my face. A second line appears. Now tell me whose it is. And suddenly, the scariest thing about Jeff is not the knife, the smile, or the words, "Go to sleep." It's that after more than 20 years online, nobody can conclusively answer him.
Thursday Thrills.
Welcome back to Thursday Thrills, a quick weekly ride into the creepy stories, haunted places, weird obsessions, and eerie little corners of the world worth talking about. I'm your host, Henrique Couto, and tonight we're tracing one of internet horror's most recognizable faces through conflicting creepypastas, old image message boards, false identities, and a suicide rumor that became accepted as fact. Plenty of us first encountered Jeff through a surprise link, a screamer video, or one of those late-night searches that should have stopped 3 tabs earlier. But Jeff carries 2 mysteries. The fictional one. Who was he before he became that smiling thing in the dark? The real one. Who or what was in the photograph before it was edited beyond all recognition? Neither question leads to one clean origin story. And there is a fresh reason Jeff has crawled back into the conversation. This week on August 11th, creator-led studio Tongle and filmmaker Savannah Moss announced that a Jeff the Killer feature film is in development. Moss will produce and help shape the creative direction, and the project has opened part of its development process to outside creators pitching character concepts. At the moment, there is no announced director, cast, or release date. Moss said the appeal is partly that Jeff was built by the internet, with different people adding to him and reimagining him over time. Tongle's founder also pointed directly at the mystery and ambiguity surrounding the original photograph. That makes the timing almost perfect, because any filmmaker adapting Jeff faces a strange problem before the cameras ever roll. Which Jeff are you adapting? The bullied teenager? The burned killer? The closet spirit? The faceless thing from a Japanese image board? There is no single sacred text. There's not even one agreed upon beginning. Hollywood may eventually have to choose a canon, but the internet never really did. One of the earliest attempts to attach a character to the face appeared on Newgrounds on August 10th, 2008. An account named Killer Jeff, also associated with the handle Sesseur, posted the image with a little story about old Jeffy. But this Jeff was not yet the teenager most fans would later meet. He was more akin to Bloody Mary. The post described a ritual performed inside a dark closet. You sat cross-legged, turned your head back and forth, and repeated, "He's in here with me." Then you closed your eyes and called the name Jeff. The face was supposed to appear inches from your own, and the suggested way to survive was wonderfully ridiculous. Stand your ground and compliment him. This first Jeff is creepy, but he's also pure early internet nonsense, the kind of thing somebody invents at 2 a.m. and dares everyone else to try. When a commenter asked what had happened to the face, Killer Jeff answered with a story about slipping on a soapy floor while carrying acid and spilling it all over himself. That is the seed of an origin, but only a seed. No bullies, no birthday party, brother taking the blame, burned eyelids, carved smile, or famous command. Years later, the same account said it had created Jeff before the famous story appeared, while admitting it did not write the version that became legendary. And that brings us to 2011. The Jeff most of us remember is from a creepypasta posted under the name GameFuelTV in August of 2011. It begins almost like a local news report. An unknown killer is loose. A child describes waking to find a pale man watching from the darkness with terrible eyes, an impossible smile, and a knife. Then he says, "You know where this is going. Go to sleep." From there, the story rewinds. Jeff and his brother Liu move into a wealthy neighborhood where 3 bullies threaten them with knives at the bus stop. Jeff fights back with shocking violence. Liu later takes the blame and is sent away. At a neighborhood birthday party, the bullies return. Another fight breaks out, and Jeff is drenched with alcohol and bleach, then set on fire. He survives, but the person who comes home from the hospital is no longer the boy who went in. His skin has been whitened by the burns. He becomes obsessed with his reflection. He cuts a permanent smile into his cheeks, destroys his eyelids so he can keep looking at himself non-stop, murders his family, and then disappears into the night. It's lurid, messy, over the top, and unforgettable. The story gave the photograph a life. It gave the face a family, enemies, a transformation, a weapon, and 3 words every kid reading creepypasta after midnight could whisper to scare somebody else. The picture made the story feel dangerous. The story made the picture feel real. But here's the twist. By the time either version of Jeff was written, that face had already been wandering the internet for years. If you like these quick trips into creepy corners of folklore, make sure you're following WeeklySpooky on your favorite podcast app. Every Thursday, we have a brand new thrill just for you. And send this episode to the person who used to ambush you with screamer links. The best monsters travel by word of mouth. For a long time, people assumed the Jeff image appeared with the character in 2008. But it didn't. Investigators have traced edited versions through Japanese websites and image boards all the way back in 2005. One version appeared on a site called pia.cc under a title usually translated as White Powder. Another, closer to the famous Jeff image, circulated with the file name prettyFACE, face in all caps. Researchers call two major stages JTK1 and JTK2. The earlier version retains more facial detail. The later one is flatter, paler, and closer to the monster we all know and love. By 2007, the face was also being used in a Japanese fake broadcast horror video, one of those cursed transmission clips designed to look like normal television, but then suddenly goes very wrong. Then the picture crossed into English language horror spaces, where Sesseur attached the name Jeff and the 2011 story supplied for the biography. But investigators kept moving backward. They compared backgrounds, old thumbnails, dead links, archived forums, file names, and compression artifacts. Every few years, somebody announces a promising model, video frame, or face that seems to line up if you stretch it just right. Unrelated people have also had their photographs pulled into the mystery and falsely labeled as Jeff's original face. None of these leads has produced a verified, unedited source. We still don't know who the person was. We don't know whether the base was a photograph or a video frame or a composite, who made the first major edit, or whether the earliest surviving upload was anywhere near the beginning. The internet remembers the monster perfectly. It's misplaced the human underneath. Of course, the truth is, the internet hates an empty space, so it filled this one with a tragedy. The most widely repeated explanation claimed that the original person was a girl named Katie Robinson. According to the rumor, she posted a photograph of herself on 4chan in 2008 and was cruelly mocked and then photoshopped by other users and later died by suicide. The story spread because it seemed to explain the closet-like background, dark hair, warped face, and the sense that the image carried something cruel inside it. By 2013, major websites were repeating the theory as plausible, even while admitting the alleged suicide was unverified. People compared facial marks and treated the tragedy as Jeff's hidden true story. But the timeline breaks it. Edited versions of the Jeff face were already online in Japan in 2005, roughly 3 years before the alleged 4chan post. The supposed Katie photograph was never proven to be Jeff's source. There is no reliable evidence that a girl by that name became the image or died as claimed. So this part deserves to be stated without a spooky hedging. The bullied girl's suicide story is debunked internet rumor. The source of the Jeff photograph remains unsolved, but that does not make every proposed answer equally possible. Unknown is not permission to repeat the most upsetting story until it feels true, but it is the one that'll travel the furthest. There may be a real person somewhere beneath those edits. That person may still be alive. They may never have known what became of their image. We don't honor them by attaching an invented death to their face just to make it a bit of a stronger, darker legend. What survived was not one story. It was a kit, a face, a name, a white hoodie, a knife, a brother named Liu, a smile. 3 words: go to sleep. Thousands of people took those pieces and assembled their very own Jeff. They rewrote his childhood, gave him surnames, changed his age, added rivals, victims, romances, sequels, games, songs, animations, cosplay, and other killers connected to his world. Jane the Killer and Homicidal Liu became major fixtures inside creepypasta fandom. At the time, there was no official franchise. Jeff grew the way a good old-fashioned campfire legend grows. One person supplies the monster. Somebody else gives it a road to haunt. The next storyteller adds the night their cousin supposedly saw it. Eventually, everyone knows the warning, but nobody can point to the first person who spoke it. The internet did not merely spread Jeff the Killer, it collectively authored him. That is why the contradictions never managed to kill the character. The contradictions are the character. Jeff belongs to the strange period when the web could still feel anonymous, unindexed, and dangerous. When a hidden JPEG might arrive with no context and searching for answers only led to even darker pages. So, was Jeff the Killer real? No. There's no evidence that the smiling figure was a teenage serial killer, a burned murderer, a closet spirit, or a dead girl haunting an image board. Jeff is fictional, but the mystery behind his face is real. An image passed through forgotten corners of the early internet. Editors altered it, users reposted it, and storytellers gave it a name and a voice. Millions remembered the monster, while the source disappeared. Maybe the unedited photograph sits on an old hard drive or inside a dead Japanese website that was never archived. Maybe the person in it has seen Jeff and never even recognized their own face. Or maybe somebody knows exactly where it came from and has spent 20 years quietly watching the rest of us chase our tails. The new movie will eventually have to decide who Jeff is, but the internet already gave him the perfect origin. He's a monster with thousands of parents and no birth certificate. I'm Henrique Couto, and this has been Thursday Thrills. Drive safe, keep your headlights on, and before you close that last browser tab tonight, take one more look at the dark part of the screen, just to make sure the face looking back belongs to you.
Come back tomorrow for more fear. Until then, lock your doors, as if that will help.